Hi, I am in Yuba City, California, and I just got done doing two assemblies at a school. We did an elementary assembly and we did a middle school and high school assembly. Both were awesome. But I'm actually not too far away from the camps that I grew up in. And at those camps is where I gave my life back to the Lord. I was called into ministry. I was able to forgive my dad and all these different things that have happened in my timeline that I've talked about all the time with all of you, and I've shared my story. I'm actually close enough to the place that so we're going to see if we can go in and I can actually walk in there. I haven't been in there in that camp since 2018. And so we're going to see if we can get in. We're going to see if we can try to just go walk around the campus. I can show you some of my favorite spots, some really pivotal moments of my life. And we'll go down in the sanctuary and talk about that as well. But I'm really excited because I don't know when I'm going to be back up here in Chico. I don't know when I'm going to ever go back to that spot where we did the camps. But since I'm here, I might as well go do it as well. So let's go see if we can get in.
All right, so I'm getting gas right now, and I'm actually over by this Walmart. And at camp, we would do Sunday night counselor briefing, and then after that, we would all go back into town and get whatever we needed. And this was the Walmart that we would actually go. And so you would get anywhere between 60 to 70 counselors together to go to Walmart. We go to In-N-Out, and we just take over the town for a couple hours on a Sunday night before students would come on Monday. And as I was pumping gas, I was literally sitting over here and standing, and I'm like, dude, that's the Walmart we would go to. And it's just, the nostalgia is so real, and it's super wild to even just imagine and think that, my goodness, I'm in the city where most of my spiritual journey took place. And so it's really exciting to just even be a witness to the thought of this being here. So it's super exciting. All right, so driving off the freeway, and I'm on like the main road that leads to the entrance of camp. And man, there's restaurants here that I used to go to as a kid. There's a Dutch Bros that we would stop at every single time before we would get into the camp. And the nostalgic and just all the memories are all flooding in right now. And it is absolutely crazy. There's a Mongolian barbecue place that was a tradition when I was on the worship team that we would go to and be a part of. And it's really cool, and it brings a lot of great memories when driving down here. And I would always drive down here knowing that it was going to be a long week of investing into students. And I remember as a teenager sitting on the bus, and we would see this road and be like, oh my gosh, we're about to enter the gates of camp. And it was absolutely insane, and it was so cool to be a part of. And so again, I've said it before, I don't know when I'll be back up here to this camp, to this area of California, but I'm so glad I had the opportunity to do this. I was speaking at a school earlier this morning, and so to be able to come and only be less than an hour away from the camp is something really special. Also, I've never been up here when there's snow, and so when I called to get the gate code, there was talk about snow being here, and I've never seen it snow out here. It has rained out here, it's been scorching hot, but I've never seen snow, and right in front of me is just this blanket of snow, and that's exactly where we're heading. And so I can't wait to show you guys. All the time I've had people who are like, dude, you tell this story all the time, and so now I have the opportunity to show you exactly. Ugh. I tell this story all the time of when I got called into ministry and I was able to forgive, and all of these different things. And I have so many memories from this camp, and I've had people go, man, we wish we could see it, blah, blah. And I don't have crazy many photos of it, And so to be able to actually have video and to go show you is something really, really cool. And so I'm super excited to go back to the camp and also just to show people where life change for me happened. Most of my story started here. I got called into ministry here. I got was able to forgive my dad here. I was rededicated to a real relationship with Jesus through this camp, and was able to sustain my faith through this camp. And it's super powerful, and I just can't wait to walk on the premises again. Okay, so you're seeing a video of beautifully paved road coming into this property. But let me tell you, when I was coming in here and we had buses and vans come through here for camp, it was not this good. This road looks phenomenal. This was not here when I was here. And so it's a different avenue for sure. But we would have to go really slow. And so now I can go a normal pace driving with this. Come on, this is so good. I am here in Chico, California at the YWAM base here in Richardson Springs. This is where I grew up going to Easter camps and summer camps, and I spent almost my entire childhood and teenage years literally here up at this camp. And I get to walk around the premises and just show you different areas of where my life was changed, and just different awesome moments of my time coming to these camps. So I'm really excited to show you, but let's go check it out real quick. So this is the room on Sunday nights. All the counselors would come in. Everybody would sit together. This would be super crammed, and Donnie and people would come and minister to the counselors and get them ready before students would come in on Mondays. And so we would have worship, we would have briefings, and we would have a quick sermon here. And then we would go into town one more time, go to Walmart and go and have fun with it. But this was always a fun little spot because this was like everybody would see each other for the first time in a year or a few months, and little meet and greet hangout area. And then the counselors would get their spot and then they would go. And it's awesome. Now, when I tell you that this room right here was the loudest room out of the entire camp, I mean, hundreds of kids would be in this room eating and having food and fun, and it was great. But oh my gosh, hundreds of kids in here, super loud. One of the loudest parts. And then kids would be throwing food, being crazy. Too much. So this brought back a lot of memories. I love it. One of the other things too is up here, a bunch of people would go on hikes. I never went on hikes, but people would go on hikes here all the time, and you'd go to the very top of the mountain there. And it was just always awesome. Over here was the Cooper House. And so when I was on staff or on the worship team, we would always go in there. And it was just a wonderful time. And we had just an amazing group of people. They definitely got new carpet. So this is the sanctuary. This is where students from all across California, Northern California, would come and we would do services. And this is brand new carpet, so this is actually pretty cool. And this is where we would do worship. And there was some seasons I would be on this side of the stage playing drums, I'd be in the middle, and then towards the end of my time I would be over here. Right over here we used to have a whole sound system. And I remember I would go hide right back here and I would stand right behind the sound system and I would cry, I would pray, I'd worship and just have these incredible encounters. And through those doors, I'm gonna show you real quick, that's the area where I was able to forgive my dad. Behind this sound system and the speakers, I was able to get called into ministry. And so I remember coming up here and there would be a podium and Donnie, my mentor, he would stand right here and he would just look at all the students worshiping. And sometimes I'd be up here playing drums or I'd be off to the side right here and I would always watch him come in. And just to see him get ready to preach, and I just remember walking up and seeing all of this and coming up here and having a complete moment of these students are about to get a knowledge of Jesus like never before. And it always challenged me to stand and see all of these students with different backgrounds, different family elements, different hurts, and all these different things. And at the end of it, this altar would be completely filled. And kids' lives were forever changed. And it was always crazy as a musician, as a worship team up here, to really just see what has happened. I was on stage one time and I was actually in this corner right here. The drums were set up back here. I'm playing drums and I'm looking out to everybody and the bass player's right here and guitar and keys and all that stuff. And I can remember the Lord saying, "Hey, Timmy, I need you to hop off the drums and I need you to go find a place to where me and you can talk." And I would remember getting off the stage, going this way and going down the stairs, and I immediately went out the door. And I'll show you exactly where my life was forever changed. So I would come outside of this door and I would walk right over here. And during the summer, it's nice, it's warm, the stream's not crazy loud, but the band's playing, the water's going. And I remember in the middle of the service, towards the altar call, I would always fall down here. And this is where I was able to forgive my dad. I was able to just release all of this hurt and everything. And when I got up out of having this awesome moment, I literally saw this smiley face. And I didn't see it before. And it was almost this moment where the Lord was smiling and saying, "Hey, I got you covered." And it was so awesome. And then I would go back in the room and I would end up playing and we would go awesome. But every time that I came out here, I would always look back down on this part of the smiley face and go, "Man, God, you've been so good." And to be back here again, where my life is completely different, God is still using me and calling me, and to see this again and to come back here is an entirely crazy experience and a crazy dream that I really never thought that I would get to go back to. And so I'm really honored to be here and to just walk this campus again. Sweetwater's right over here, and this is where people would sleep. We actually did a whole pillow fight one time where people from the hotel would meet over here and we have a pillow fight, and it was great. And it just brings back so many great memories of what God has done in my life, but also my entire upbringing. I was coming to these camps when I was young until I became a grown adult. And every summer, every spring, this is where I would be. This building, Ebenezer, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of students came in who were broken, who were hurt, who had no hope, and they walked out free, changed, and gave their lives to the Lord, and they were never the same. I can't tell you how many times I've seen kids at these altars, and I can't tell you how many times that I was one of those kids. There's really no words to describe what this property and this camp means to me. It's really hard to put into words how I'm feeling right now, and I'm just really excited. I got the opportunity to come here and be a part of it, and so, yeah, a lot of life happened on this property. A lot of life change happened in this room, and my prayer is that more people find Jesus in this room for years to come. I know I did, and I know a lot of other people did too. Pretty special. Hey, so when I was here as a staff member for Radical Rally, I got to be a lifeguard. And so there would be this giant pool that was right behind us, and kids would like jump, run around, go crazy. But it was just so much fun that we would have activities. We'd have volleyball tournaments. On the other side of this creek is where the guys would stay. And there's a bridge right over here that you can see that we would literally, you would cross over and you would go stay in these buildings that are back here. And it's just really a cool experience to see all of this is still here. Everything looks exactly the same. The water is a little higher here than I remember, but the pool was there. And this massive building that's up here, right there, this was the hotel room. That's where the upstairs were the girls, and downstairs underneath was where the guys would stay, and that's where we would have the dining hall and we would do some meetings and stuff. And so I'm really thankful that I was able to come back up to the Springs, come back up to camp, just kind of have a moment and experience that again. Thank you to the YWAM base for allowing me to come out and letting me be a part of getting some memories back. This was really, really cool.